Hello, ladies and gentlemen. RP Tube Vision brings to you Wrestling Trivia Tuesday.
Hello, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to this week's Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. Of course, I'm Ronald Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. Got some fun questions this week, but before I get started, gotta do the obligated shameless plug and say, if you're a non-subscriber, go ahead, take that mouse and click that subscribe button. It sure would be appreciated. Um, Now that that's out of the way, I got a brand new little mic stand thanks to my brother. He really doesn't know that he got it for me for Christmas, but his gift card he gave me for Christmas off this thing. So technically, he bought me this thing. Just seeing how it works so far. Hopefully, the sound is a whole lot better. Uh, if it's not, of course, I got this thing and I don't really play with it that much. I got this little soundboard here, or not soundboard, sound card thing here. It's supposed to make noises, uh, like cheer. Uh-oh. Now I hear. I don't know if you guys hear it. But anyway, now I've played around with this thing a little bit. Um, I haven't played around the whole thing, so if you're listening, uh, let me know how it sounds. See if it sounds any better. Uh, like I said, now all that shit's out of the way. Let's get started. On January 11th, 1993, the USA Network aired the first episode of WWF Monday Night Raw, which is now WWE. Um, Question number one. What was the main event of the first ever Monday Night Raw? Was it A, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake? B, The Undertaker versus Damien Demento? Or C, Shawn Michaels versus Max Moon? Well, it wasn't the Million Dollar Man versus Brutus Beefcake. They were main event a little later on. Actually, one of the coolest angles they did at the time on TV. Anyway, I digress. Of course, Shawn Michaels main event WrestleManias and everything else, but he did not main event the first ever Monday Night Raw. The participants of the main event of the first Monday Night Raw was The Undertaker and Damien Demento. So the correct answer was B. Of course, The Undertaker had a historic career. Damien Demento, I do remember he was on the rise. I think I seen him. What was it? ICW, the Angelo Poffo thing. I think he appeared a few weeks in the same match. Some of you might catch that joke. But anyway, yes, the answer is B. The Undertaker versus Damien Demento. And why not? Let's stay here with the Fed for question number two. Since this is Royal Rumble weekend, let's ask the Royal Rumble question. Who won the first ever Royal Rumble? Was it a typical Hogan must pose? A, Hulk Hogan, B, Earthquake, or C, Hacksaw Jim Duggan? And the answer is C. Oh, tough guy, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Uh, he last eliminated the one man gang. Now, this Royal Rumble was actually a special on the USA Network. It wasn't a pay per view per se or a premium uh, event or premium viewing event, however they call it now. And of course, I think they was just trying it out. So, of course, Jim Duggan didn't get the get the main event WrestleMania against, I believe the champion was Bret Hart at the, no, it was, oh, Hulk Hogan was the champion at the time. Excuse me. Uh, they didn't add the stipulation until '93, and that's the one Yokozuna won, and he went on to defeat. Bret Hart, then turned around and was defeated by Hulk Hogan in like 30 seconds. Uh, but yeah. Speaking of Jim Duggan, One Man Gang, kids out there, uh, find some Mid South UWF footage, and you'll see a great, like, you know, kind of cartoony right here, but the whole tough guy thing, it was 100% real in the UWF Mid South, and that is still praise from Jim Ross, who's commentating. Jim Duggan and One Man Gang had some slobber knockers in the UWF. One more thing to digress about. Check out this gamepad, the Super Nintendo picture I have for the Royal Rumble. Believe it or not, in 1993, this was the coolest wrestling game. Um, Spent many a time playing this game. Actually, I did have both. I did had a Super Nintendo, then sold to a buddy of mine. I bought the Sega Genesis. For some reason I thought it looked cooler. I'm probably gonna get, if you're an old school gamer, you're probably like, what the hell do you do that for? Um, anyway, so I had both versions of the Royal Rumble, and like I said, at the time, it was the coolest wrestling game ever. Then later on, they got better, which I'm not going to keep harping on that. Harping on games. Um, I wish I remember that video, but somebody actually did a history and actually did like a countdown of like the 10 best pro wrestling games, and it was actually pretty good. I think I agreed with 100% of it. Anyway, let's move on. And it is main event time, question number 3. And let's get out of the WWF or excuse me, WWE, and let's go international. Uh, who was known as the father of Pro Wrestling? I probably butchered that. Hey, like I said, I'm a Southern guy. I'll butcher uh, the American English any way I can. Anyway, who was known as the father of Pro Wrestling? I think it's supposed to be pro wrestling, but without the wrestling. Basically, the father of pro wrestling Japan. Um, oops, my earphone popped out. And put that in there. Let's keep rolling here. Uh, was it A, Antonio Noki, B, Giant Baba, or C, Ricky Dozen? The answer is C, Ricky Dozen. The Korean-born sumo wrestler was credited for bringing pro wrestling to Japan and making it a big deal, making it a moneymaker. Uh, and he started the tradition. Back at the time, it was after World War II, so you can kind of understand the way things were at that time. If you know anything about World War II, um, basically, when Japanese came here to America, they were the heels. Americans were the babyface. On the flip side of that, when the Japanese or when the Americans went to Japan, the Americans were the heels, and wrestlers, you know, Japanese wrestlers, including Ricky Dozen, is born in Korea, uh, were the heroes, and it was a moneymaker. He was the big hero. He made it. He made it to, you know, he started what it is today over there. And I'm not sure if that tradition still stays. I believe it does, but I could be wrong. I'm not up to date as I used to be on Japanese pro wrestling. Uh, but he actually mentored both Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki. Uh, Also, Giant Baba, I just found this out today. His Ricky Dozen's two sons helped Giant Baba create All Japan Pro Wrestling. Uh, anyway, unfortunately, on December 15th, 1963, Ricky Dozen passed away. he was involved in an altercation in which he was stabbed in the stomach. uh, then there's a few stories and legends. Uh, he actually lived through it. I think he was stabbed on the 8th, so he survived like 7 days, but it wound up developing peritonitis, uh, and that's how he wound up dying. But the person who stabbed him did serve 8 years in prison for manslaughter. And before we go here, everybody knows last week we lost a good performer. Jay Briscoe passed away in an unfortunate auto accident. Um, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Uh, and last I heard, I think both his girls are making it well. I think one of his daughters was having some paralysis, but now she's getting the feeling as of Saturday when I heard about it. But apparently, not only was he a good performer, a good dude. I've you know read not one bad word about him except for certain people. I'll just leave that alone. Leave that alone. Let it be. Let him rest in peace. But yeah, like I said, seemed like a good dude. I didn't know he even owned his own landscaping company, which was doing real good. So he was a good dude and had his shit together. And unfortunately, gone way before he needed to be. So rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Uh, Other than that, again, thank you guys and gals for watching. Tune in next week. We'll have some more fun questions. And as always, you folks take it easy and have a good one.
We here at RP Tube Vision would like to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also check out friends of the show Ecolife and Natural for home-crafted candles, hand cloth, and other home and personal goods. Look them up on Facebook. Link will be available below the video. That is Ecolife and Natural.